Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ToBeReal's webinar, Seeds of Success, How to Get Funded in the Bioeconomy, with the great technical support of Club. I'm Maria Jimenez, Innovation Consultant at PNO Innovation Spain and Technical Coordinator at ToBeReal Project. And today, I have the pleasure of guiding you through this session. But firstly, please let me know that this entire webinar is being recorded and will be made publicly available later in our ToBeReal YouTube channel. So if you do not wish for your image, voice, or name to appear in the public recording, please ensure your camera and microphone remain turned off throughout the session. And please refrain from sharing any personal data in the chat. By staying in the meeting, you acknowledge and consent to this recording for public dissemination purposes. Thank you. So then let's start. It's a pleasure to have you with us today for this joint session organized by ToBeReal Project in collaboration with C4B and BioINSouth, three European funded projects that share the same vision to strengthen bioeconomy ecosystems and help sustainable value chains. So let's say to grow from the roots. Let me share just this first agenda. Over the next 90 minutes, we'll explore upcoming European funding opportunities, hear practical insights on how to build competitive proposals, and discover how regional actors, primary producers, and innovators can work together to make the bioeconomy thrive across Europe. So you can see here the agenda, let's go to the speakers. Today we are joined by three excellent speakers and colleagues. This is Lara Valentin, representing ToBeReal, Anna Francesini from C4B, and Nadia Bogioyanopoulou in BioINSouth, who will each share their perspective on how innovation and collaboration can turn ideas into the real impact. So let me just share a brief paragraph from each of them. Lara Valentin holds a PhD in environmental biotechnology from the University of Helsinki. She's a senior innovation consultant at PNO Innovation Spain, where she leads the bio-based, agri-food, and sustainable team, and co-leads the bioeconomy sector within the PNO group. With over 15 years of experience in European proposal preparation, innovation consultancy, and project management, Lara is an expert in European funding projects such as Horizon Europe, LIFE, CBE, Pathfinder, Prima, and Mission Soil. Her expertise cover bioeconomy, circular economy, soil, health, agriculture, and pollution. And she is, for sure, our coordination of the ToBeReal project. Anna Francesini, with an academic background in biotechnology and molecular biology, PhD, is a senior consultant also at PNO, but Italy, with about a decade of experience in research and innovation of European projects, notably in the field of bioeconomy, food, and agriculture. Since 2024, she has been leading the coordination of the C4B project. And last but not least, Nadia Bogioyanopoulou. Sorry, because I'm sure that I have misspeak the surname. Holds a PhD in natural product chemistry and has over 10 years of experience in research and innovation management. She started her career as a chemist focusing on bioactive natural molecules, contributing to multiple peer-reviewed publications and to the creation of the first spin-off of the University of Athens. She's an innovation consultant in Greece, and she designs and manages European and nationally funded R&D projects across bioeconomy, health, and life science sectors, bringing academia and industry to foster sustainable valorization of natural resources and impactful innovation. In BioINSouth project, Nadia participates as communication, exploitation, and dissemination leader. So then we can go to the next presentation. So please, Lara Valentin, you have the floor.
Yeah, so thank you, Maria, for this nice introduction of all of us. It's a pleasure for me also to be here to present you what now you can see. Can you see it? Right, yes, I think so. You see it, right?
Yeah, but you can put the presentation mode. Okay, right.
Yeah. So yes, I'm gonna switch the one thing. Just a moment. No. Do this way. So in my slot of this of the presentation, what I'm going to show you through is first, of course, what is PNO. We are close to you in the bio-based and agri-food sector. A little bit of what is ToBeReal about. Some of you may not hear about it. Then mapping the opportunities within the bioeconomy funding landscape. So what is there for you to get funding for your bioeconomy projects at a glance? Of course, we don't have much time to go into the details of all, but just the first keywords. And there are a lot of tips that we can give to you of how to have a successful proposal, but we are just going to focus in tips for addressing the multi-actor approach, very important for bioeconomy projects to succeed. So within PNO, in the group of bio-based team, first of all, some keywords of PNO innovation. We are a consultant company, so we are helping and supporting you, organizations, to turn your ideas into real projects with real impact. We are over 10 countries in Europe. Of course, we cover all the European map, but we have offices in all these countries where you see the yellow spots. We are quite old innovation consultant company, more than 40 years. And some of the words of the key figures that I can share with you, that we have more than 4,000 clients. In 1 year, we are having discussion with more than 1,000 stakeholders. We have been guiding projects with a value of more than 5 billion euros, and something that we are very proud of, that our success rate, depending on the program, is very high. It can reach even 95% of success rate, depending on the program. But something that we are also very proud of is that we also have impact in the environment, because with all these projects, we have been able to reduce more than 300 million tons of CO2 with the projects that we have been supporting. These are all the sectors that we cover, our experts. Here we are experts in the bio-based and agri-food, that you can see highlighted in white. And with our guidance, with our experts, and with the portfolio of services that we have developed, we generate tangible impact related to these impact areas that you can see here. I'm not going to the details. It's just that all these areas we are covering within the bio-based and agri-food industrial sector. Yes, I'm not going to the details. These are examples of two things: projects that we have been supporting, but where also PNO is part of the project. We are partners in these projects. BioINSouth, we have here Nadia. Breadcrumb, where PNO Spain is involved. C4B, we have here Anna, and so on and so on. Here you have ToBeReal, that we even coordinate. Just examples within the bioeconomy project. Okay, I'm not going to much details. So now let's move to the topic of this webinar. So I'm going to explain you what is ToBeReal before going into the details of mapping these European funding programs. So ToBeReal was born with the main goal of being the project that catalyzes other projects, can be public, can be private, that are at different stages of maturity. And here we are not talking only about technology readiness level. We also talk about other readiness level: business, financial, social, regulatory, to boost these projects towards to develop these projects to a flagship project, flagship in a very wide sense of the word. So that's ToBeReal. ToBeReal is to make your project real, So we are 13 partners. You can see it in the map. We cover quite a lot in Europe. And we start a year ago. It's going to be 4 years more running. And we are really here to help you because we are giving free services for you. I will go into the details later on. So just that you catch my attention because at the end, I will give you more information. So from ideas to real projects. So across Europe, there are brilliant ideas that emerge in the bioeconomy sector, for example, from the use of novel biomass feedstock to even new business models, for example, for circular farming solutions. So really connecting your innovation, your ideas with the right funding can truly make your project to happen. Is the seed for your success. So what is there? I'm going to give you just insight of all the landscape of different European programs. The two most important ones, you have the Horizon Europe, within the Horizon Europe, the Cluster 6. And the second one, very important, the Horizon, the Circular Bio-Based Europe Joint Undertaking. Take this into consideration. But live, of course, we have live program, which is very much dedicated to the environment. There are circular bioeconomy also calls, but they also have this climate action initiative and biodiversity. Two type of priorities in Europe: the soil health on one side with the mission, European mission, soil deal for Europe, and the protection of our waters and oceans. They have possibilities. You have possibilities here for bioeconomy project as well. Then there are these three type of not so known programs that are the agroecology partnerships. So for a sustainable, resilient, and environmentally friendly agricultural systems, future foods. So very much regarding sustainable food systems, and Prima. Prima is just for our Mediterranean area regions, and they are very much for R&D R&D projects in agri-food, water, and management. Water. Then we have also just a specific program for water, where bioeconomy also has a lot to say. For example, valorization of byproducts from water, wastewater, as an example. And then we have this the EIT climate and EIT food at a glance. Interreg is focused on a territorial cooperation. So it's just for cooperation between regions. We will go more into detail later on with Nadia. And last but not least, the EIC, the European Innovation Council. Very important to have this into consideration. So this is the main work programs or the main European public funding for you to scope if you have projects in mind. Okay, so just to give a bit of more like clustering the programs, I map here the opportunities according to the ToBeReal of your project. I'm not going to the details of what is level. So ToBeReal from 1 to 4. So what is this? Laboratory. So all the research, the basic research that you do at laboratory level, and you can reach 4.55 ToBeReal, which is a technology, a process, a product validated in lab, in real environment, but they're in between. There is not yet a pilot. Okay, so all of these programs have possibilities for you if you have a project with low ToBeReal. Specifically, the EIC Pathfinder is the one that is for you to get funding if you have a breakthrough idea, like a crazy idea. That's Pathfinder for you. Then ToBeReal 5 and 7, again, the same people is there, but I give you a bit more of detail. If you have a project with high ToBeReal, look at the Circular Bio-based Europe, because they have much more money for TRLs a little bit higher, the innovation actions. And then, but what about for these companies mostly that already have a pilot and they have already produced some tons, but they want to go more, very close to the market? You also have opportunities in Europe to get funding, perhaps at the same time that you are searching for private money. Again, Circular Bio-based Europe, the flagship type of calls, they are for you, because there is quite a lot of money. We will go into the details to get your production really in the market. EIC Accelerator as well. Life is our program for close to the market, and then EIT Food and EIT Climate Kick, with a bit of like this, because they also have some money for lower TRL. Zoom into these two programs, because we don't have time for all. Prima and Interreg, I will leave it to Nadia. Okay, so cluster 6. This is the main properties, let's say, of cluster 6. Just to give you some hints. Grant size, from very small, 2 millions to 12 millions. You can have funding rate, depends. If you have, you are going to apply for a type of project, which is research and innovation action, or CCA, then you have 100% of eligible calls, everybody, no matter what type of organization you are. However, if you are going to apply for innovation actions, the company, the profit organizations will get 70% of eligible costs, whereas the non-profit organization is still 100%, which is great. Destinations, to say it in other words, how is divided in grouping the cluster 6 of Horizon Europe? You have 7 destinations. The one for you is if my audience is bioeconomy actors, is the third one, the circular bioeconomy. But pay attention to the fund to fork and all the other ones, because there can be possibilities for you also in the other destinations. Target TRL, as I already mentioned before, I'm not going to repeat it, more or less like mostly everything, you can find it there. Eligible applicants, it's very important that in the project there are at least 3 independent legal entities from different EU member states or Horizon Europe associated countries. You might say, who are they? Contact us and we will tell you more. We don't have time here. But eligible participants could be research institutes, universities, private companies, startups, SMEs, public authorities, municipalities, NGOs, civil association, technology platform, clusters, industrial association, etc. The work program is published every 2 years. Now, we are starting. We are going to start into 26. The next biannual work program is going to be the last one. Then we will jump into the next framework program. And the calls are announced in the Funding and Tender portal. Applications, it can be single stage calls, so you have to prepare a full proposal, or 2 stage calls. You first prepare a short proposal, 10 pages, and then if you are pre-selected, then you go to the full proposal. Okay, so 26, what's there for you? The draft is published, it's not public, the official work program. The draft is published in the European Commission Comitology Register. You have here the link, you will have the slides. Deadlines, depends. Single stage, you have some calls, here are the destinations that are 14th or 15th of April, depending on the group, the destination. And then there are other ones that they jump to September. And the circular bioeconomy, they are in September, 17th of September. But there are 2 stages as well. Remember, you have to prepare first 10 pages, and then if you are selected, they welcome you to prepare the full proposal. And here are the dates. So a little bit much focus in April and then September. Circular bioeconomy. There are some topics that are on 16th of April, first stage. If you are pre-selected, then 23rd of September. Okay. Then CBE. Again, the same table. I think is quite useful once you have the slides. Here at the grant size, you have RIAs, EAs, and flagships. EAs usually per project 3 million euros approx. Innovation actions per project 6.75. This is going to be for next year. Per project, they fund 2 projects and also 2 projects for research and innovation actions. And then you have the flagship, the big ones, the ones for really scale up your production, 20 millions per project. Not bad. The funding rate, the target TRL eligible applicants are very similar to cluster 6, so I'm not going to the details. Special requirements. Well, CBE in general, they have a bunch of special requirements. This will need an extra webinar, which, by the way, we will probably make one project about CBE in next year, at the beginning of next year. But one that I wanted to highlight is one which is the in-kind contribution to operational activities, which is eligible criteria. This means that industrial partners that are members of the bio-based industry consortium, they have to also co-invest in the project. So what refers to the costs incurred by the industrial participants during the execution of the project that are not reimbursed by the grant. So the unfunded part of the eligible expenses. Well, just that this sounds, when you are preparing that, remember this ICOP, you will have more details if you go to their guidelines. The annual is annually, this is not biannual like cluster 6. And it's also published in the CBE EU website and also in the funding and tenders portal. And they are all in a stage. You don't have this possibility of 2 stages. 26. Unfortunately, we don't know yet what is going to be, because the draft, yes, there is a draft, but it's only available exclusively for bio-based industrial consortium members. The big members, they can access to the draft, but it's like a secret to say it this way. What I can tell you is that the work program will be published or will be open on 23rd of April, and the deadline is expected in mid-September. Okay, so just to give you some ideas, what was available for funding this year, the deadline is over already. For TRL 4 to 5, we have, for example, valorization of forest biomass, biodegradable fertilizers, manufacturing for rubber, a bit more scale up. TRL is a bit higher. You have microalgae systems, biotextiles, alternative proteins, biotech processes, polymers and copolymers, and flagship bio-waste valorization, drop-in chemicals, fibers, based packaging, industrial retrofitting. And then you have this skill and impact, the CCAs, which were about new curricula for bio-based systems. In total, this year there are 165 million euros. Okay, tips for the multi-actor approach. Why is important the multi-actor approach? First of all, tell you that multi-actor approach is super important for these 2 programs that I have mentioned, for the cluster 6 and for the CBE. So why is it important? First, to ensure adequate involvement of all the actors within the value chains, researchers, farmers, foresters, fishers, bioeconomy business actors, etc. 2, end users are put at the center of the project objectives, results, and activities. So the project, in fact, creates value to them. 3, the value chains of your project is fully covered by all the actors, bringing added value to the specific step of the chain, of the value chain. So it's like a win-win. The project is value for them, and they create value for the project. Bidirectional. And fourth, unfortunately, in some topics of Cluster 6 and in all of the CBE is eligible criteria. So if you don't address this multi-actor approach properly, you will lose points, scores, and then your project will not get funding. Okay, so this is just an example of what could be the main actors that of your project. Think about what are the main actors of your project. Then it could be farmers and researchers, advisors, consumer association. Think about, list them, and then involve them all during the discussion of your proposal preparation. The activities that you are going to propose to the European Commission to be evaluated, they are coming co-created with all of the actors. And make sure that they are not just in the consortium to click, okay, the farmers are there. No, make sure that they carry out relevant activities. End users at the center of your project. Why? Because impact starts when users shape the project, give the shape of the project, not when they are just asked for feedback at the end. Why they bring in unique added value to the value chains? Well, the bioeconomy projects, obviously, they involve multiple sectors. You have the biomass producers, you have the product designers, you have the market access, the business, the companies that sell the product, the bio-based product. So covering the entire value chains avoid gaps and improves resource use and ensures circularity. I'm going to give you an example of a multi-actor approach in a plastic-related project. This is the value chains, the feedstock production of bio-based plastic, technology providers, compounders, packaging, consumer citizens, waste managers, recycling, and end use. So you map your partners, you have your partners throughout the whole value chains. Partner 1, 2, 3, they are the feedstock producers, and so on and so on. Okay, but who they are? You are mapping them. So they are your first partners, they are researchers, they are bio-based plastic producers, and then you move towards your value chains. And these are all your partners. They have names in your proposal. And then how you connect all of them? Well, think about the activities that they can carry out. And this is an example. So you can have a co-designing workshop for the SSBD framework, value chain and ecosystem analysis, workshops, physical workshop for industrial supplier, packaging, industrial brand owners. This is just examples of how they can come together in the project. But remember that in the proposal, they also have to be talking. The eligibility, you can find more information at the beginning of the work program of Cluster 6. And then in the topics, you can see eligible conditions. When you say the proposal must apply the multi-actor approach, don't forget it. I'm not going to read this through. This is extracted from these specific conditions for multi-actor approach. We'll give you the slide. This is checklist. This is done, this is done, this is done, okay? Well, if you want to know more, because I couldn't not give you much more than this, I welcome you to join ToBeReal community. to download open reports where you will give you even more information than this. Apply to our services because we have one service for this, and of course contact us. So this is the community that in ToBeReal. There you have access to and connect with professionals. The open reports, we have all these different type of funding programs, both national, regional, national, European, all gathered in one report. Is coming soon in the platform, in the ToBeReal community platform. And we have covered all these countries. So you have more information in our reports of ToBeReal. And apply to our services. This is the portfolio of services. So we give you 60 coins. And with these coins, you can select which services of all of these you would like that we give you for free. So the one which is about public funding is this one here, 30 coins. So this sub-service, identification of public funding instrument and application strategy design. What is this about? Exactly like this webinar, but imagine in 30 coins, which is, believe me, quite a lot of hours. We will assist you in identifying the most suitable public funding for you, either Europe, national or regional, or the three of them. And we will provide you information and decoding the calls. So we will, break them in pieces, and we will offer you more tips than just the multi-actor approach. We are not going to write you the proposal, but we will give you much more detail than just this multi-actor approach. So you are welcome to submit your projects in our website. Here you have how, and just some steps that you have to follow for apply. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lara. Before going through the presentation of Anna, just let me remind you that we have the section of question and answers in these Teams. You can, because I'm sure that after Lara's presentation you will have a lot of questions, so you can start writing there, and we will try to go through all of them. Also for the presentation for Anna Francesini, if you want to appoint for who is the question, it is better for us, but just share your ideas there. So thank you and welcome, Anna. The floor is yours. Thank you very much for joining this session today. And please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you see my screen, right?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's move on the second project part of this this webinar, and I would like to thank my colleagues of PNO Spain for organizing these joint events among these different projects, all on the bioeconomy. And I think that this project that I'm going to present, C4B, fits very well with the scope in general of the project, as the C4B will also offer funding opportunities itself, as this is a cascade funding project. So in my presentation, I will give you some details and information about the C4B project itself in general, context and objectives, our approach, and then I will finish with the opportunities offered by the C4B projects, in particular regarding the replication and the launch of the open calls, as well as the creation of a stakeholders open environment, which is indeed in line with the multi-actor approach that Lara just explained to everyone. Okay, what about C4B? C4B stands for Circular Bio-Based Business Models to create high-value bio-based products and integrated value chains. This is a research and innovation action that has been funded under Cluster 6 Bio calls, focusing on bio business models that balance the share of the power and profit in the bioeconomy. It started at the beginning of 2024, and it lasts 4 years, meaning that we are right now about in the middle of the project after 2 years. The project brings together 10 different partners from 6 European countries that you can see here. We are in PNO Italy the coordinators of this project. We are responsible for project management as well as other activities related to identification of stakeholders, for instance, mapping of replication opportunities and so on. And we collaborate also with our colleagues of PNO Spain that are responsible for dissemination, communication, and exploitation activities. And in general, there is as participant, we have a pool of research partners that work together on indeed on the research technological part of the projects, and also involve different clusters and regional actors, including from Clube, that is also part of ToBeReal, of course, and others cluster in North Europe as well as north of Italy. Okay, so now let me start to explain a little bit more where the C4B project originates and which challenges it seeks to address. So primary production in agriculture and forestry represent, of course, an essential part of the European circular bioeconomy, but we know also that currently the involvement of primary producer in the circular bio-based economy is still very limited, and especially we know that the benefits for primary producers are very often not fairly distributed along the value chain, with a clear disadvantage of the primary sector. So in this regards, the C4B projects recognize that the fair and new sustainable business model that creates equal opportunities for also rural actors as well are really needed to support in general the development and the reinforcement of the European circular bioeconomy. So in this regard, the C4B project is in general committed to accelerate this transition and to offer new opportunities for rural communities by developing new fair and sustainable business models for different agriculture and forestry value chains. The objective of C4B project is not only to create and to design this new business model, but is also the projects try to make a step forward. And in fact, it aims to provide financial support to third parties in order to demonstrate that this new business model that are more equal, fair, and sustainable can be indeed applied in different location, contexts, and geographical areas. So with these main objectives in mind, let's have a look at the approach that we are currently using in the C4B projects. So the C4B projects start with the analysis of different case studies that have been selected to cover a variety of primary sectors, which you can see in the slides. You can see those are the forestry sectors, grape and vineyards value chains, cereal value chains, apples value chains, potatoes, as well as peatlands. So these case studies were examined by using an holistic approach that consider different dimensions, such as technology dimensions, business environment, contractual agreements, fairness, and sustainability dimensions. With this analysis, it's possible with a very holistic and comprehensive analysis, it's possible to understand and identify key elements that are essential to implement fair and sustainable business in the bioeconomy. So building on this evidence and the results, the research partners right now are focusing on, are valorizing the results and are using these results to design new innovative business models that are indeed sustainable, fair, and capable of ensuring economic return and benefits for primary producers, while also fostering collaboration among different actors along the value chain that are under evaluations. Then the scalability, applicability, and replicability of this fair and sustainable business model, as mentioned before, will be validated and demonstrated to the mechanism of offering financial support to third partners that will be asked to implement new business model, or at least validate the applicability of this different business model designed in the projects. So this slide is just to give you an update and a quick overview on where we are after 2 years after the project implementation. And you can see we regarding the methodology that I explained you before, we have already completed the analysis of the 9 case studies across Europe, representative different value chains and exploring different aspects like power dynamics, business conditions, fairness, sustainability, and so on. And we are now in the middle of the designing of this new business model that are tailored on the different contexts and value chains that we described and analyzed during the first 2 years of the project. So now let's have a look about the opportunities that the project C4B offers. An interesting, evaluations that we did is that this new fair and sustainable business model that we are designing right now in the project have a huge replication potential. In this map, for instance, you can see some of the preliminary results that the research partners obtain to assess the replicability potential of these new business models in different regions. And this assessment is made not only based, of course, on the biomass availability potential in the different geographical areas, but also considering other aspects like the technology availability in different contexts and some other enablers of implementation, like availability of funding opportunities, availability of supportive policies, and so on. So the results is a mapping where we identified some regions where, according to our assessment, we see a huge potential to replicate the new fair and sustainable business models designed by C4B. So what is the next? From starting in the 2026, the project C4B will launch an open call where the objective is to support to 8 real-world use cases that will apply and test fair and sustainable circular business model in diverse European contexts. So what is the scope of this business funding opportunities? As I said before, is to test the applicability and the scalability of this new business model, apply models in new regions and value chains, and demonstrate the real-world impact in rural bioeconomy contexts. So where are the beneficiaries? What are the beneficiaries and who can apply to these open calls? These open calls will be detailed in the next months, but they will be open to primary producers like farmers, foresters, as well as cooperative, academic researchers, startups, SMEs, and other companies active in the bio-based sectors. What's in particular the C4B project will offer? So there will be allocated up to 60,000 euros for financial support to implement and adapt these business models. Apart from that, of course, beneficiaries will benefit for the visibility to the European networks, will benefit from an expert guidance made by the expert leading research organization active in the agriculture, primary production, and bioeconomy sectors. And of course, a beneficiary will contribute to a more just, inclusive, and circular bioeconomy. So to give you some additional details about the open call launch, there in the first half of the 2026, we will start the exact design and promotion of those open calls that will be launched officially by June 2026. So if you want to know more about these project opportunities, these financial opportunities indeed, you can follow our channel and stay updated about the C4B open calls. Now, before finishing, I also like to mention another opportunity that the C4B offers to stakeholders, which is what we call the C4B stakeholder panel. So it's similar to what already Lara presented. The purpose of these stakeholder partners is indeed to create an interactive platform designed for collaboration and knowledge sharing among different type of professionals across the bioeconomy value chains, like primary producers, cooperatives, communities involved in the bioeconomy, like SMEs, startup and companies with some technology experience in the bioeconomy technologies, research centers, policymakers, clusters, and so on. So if you join the community, you can have access to resources, participate in thematic discussions, and of course also stay updated about the C4B open calls that will be launched in the next month. So my invitation is to register to our community to get the opportunity that the project is offering. So that's it from our side, and then we can move on the next presentation.
Thank you very much, Anna, for these wonderful insights. Indeed, we are giving to the audience some tips and practical platforms to join. Those all are free, so we are truly speaking about funding opportunities both in C4B and also funding for services for ToBeReal. So let's go to the presentation of Nadia regarding the BioINSouth regions, and let's see how can shape it.
Hi from me as well. You can see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
Nadia, perfect. Thank you.
So my presentation is going to be somehow a bit lighter from the previous one, and thank you very much, Lara and Anna, for your input, and thank you, Klube, for hosting this session. So I'm going to talk to you about the BioINSouth project as a Work Package 7 deck leader, and also as a participant, a very active one in the stakeholder analysis. Okay. So the BioINSouth project has a lot to do with what we're discussing now, because it's like in the core of the multi-actor approach we designed. So it is a CBJU coordination and support action to support the capacity of region in environmental sustainability assessment. So the BioINSouth project aims to support regional environmental sustainability assessment of the bio-based sectors in order to improve innovation, industries, and inclusivity in the South Europe. Exactly. So it is a project where 9 European countries and 1 non-EU country is participating, with 15 partners located mainly in the Mediterranean, in South Europe, and also some partners like the BioEast Hub, who serves as a pilot for our approach as well. And the project has a total duration of 3 years, and currently we are in the middle of the project. So to be a little bit more practical, here are the contents of my presentation. And first, I will present you a little bit the specific objectives of BioINSouth. First, I want to tell you that the BioINSouth was created more of an initiative and less like a project. The participants and the coordinator spring of the BioINSouth project had a vision of uniting Southern European regions, Southern European countries, and beyond, extending to the Mediterranean basin, to establish a network, a connection between them in terms of bioeconomy. As you may already know, bioeconomy is very relevant to the Mediterranean basin because it is a region that has a lot of pressure from the climate change, and we discovered that somehow Southern Europe tends to not aligning very well with the policies implemented more in the Central Europe, and we need to create a separate initiative, a separate project that will connect all the specific objectives in bioeconomy for those southern regions and the European Union demands. So the first aim of the BioINSouth is to support decision makers and provide tools for guidance and sustainability in terms of circular bioeconomy strategies. The second objective was to target specifically Southern European regions with a vision to expand the network. The third and very important objective is to establish regional bioeconomic hubs by following the multi-actor regional approach through the creation of MARCs, multi-actor regional groups. The multi-actor regional groups for each hub serve as a pilot advisory board in order to create vivid local groups for stakeholder engagement in bioeconomy. So the next objective was to develop and also promote SSBD-based methodologies to build integrated tools in order to assess the sustainability and circularity of bio-based systems that are mostly present in the European South. Another objective was to demonstrate these methodologies and this toolkit in our 8 BioINSouth hub regions. And after this, to co-create policy recommendations through vigorous discussions among the hubs and among the MARCs to enhance the regional competitive, to attract attention to bioeconomy in the localities of SMEs, in the industry, or even in the research community. And then, last but not least, to facilitate the dissemination and the replication of our concept to other regions connected to the European South, for example, the Mediterranean region, in order to create their own hubs through our replication guidelines, to create their own hubs and follow a similar strategy tailored to the region. So as you can see, one of the first general objectives was to create the multi-actor regional group, the MARCs, which will serve as the foundation of the hubs to be created. So this was based mainly through stakeholder engagement, stakeholder mapping, and the whole setup framework for the hubs to follow. And we applied this approach in our 8 BioINSouth regions. Those regions, you can see them in the slides. We have established a MARC, and now we have, during the summer, established and the bioeconomy hubs as well in Cyprus, in Peloponnese, in the Campania region of Italy, in Andalusia and Asturias communities of Spain, in Central regions of Portugal, in the Nouvelle Aquitaine region of France, and also in Slovenia. As you can see, this is something that is quite interesting, that the regions we chose for BioINSouth were not guided through administration. For example, we have diverse kinds of regions, like whole countries with low population, like Slovenia and Cyprus. We have administrative regions, which are in fact Campania, Peloponnese, Andalusia, and Nouvelle Aquitaine, and Asturias. And we have also statistical regions, such as the Central region of Portugal. So we don't have a uniformity in the concept, and this may be a bit more complicated to apply our approach, but it serves as well, because we get to see very different and diverse landscapes over this. In order to build our regional concept, the 8 MARCs and the 8 hubs, we needed definitely the assistance of several partners that are inside the consortium, not with participating hubs, but with providing their expertise, such as the BioINSouth hub, and especially the one in the Czech Republic, who provided their management expertise. ToBeReal in Turkey, which is a very strong candidate replication regions toward the end of the project, and also some academic and research partners like LEITA, University of Naples, University of Milano Bicocca, and the PNO Innovation Digital, the former INEN, who provided the basis for developing and implementing a unified toolkit in order for the hubs to perform assessment on their specific value chains in terms of LCA, in terms of land use and other parameters. So we started first, in order to see the landscape, we started with one proprietary tool of PNO, which is the WISB. WISB harvests, homogenizes, and indexes millions of documents, including funded R&D projects. And we can have some tech insight separated among the countries. We can see data about the participants. All the data in WISB are actually public data, but WISB has the ability to gather all this information in a very comprehensive search tool. So for the first step in BioINSouth, we created stakeholder databases, 7 national and subsequently regional sub-databases that compile all the public data of stakeholders that are related to bioeconomy activities per each country and per each region in country, and mainly this was based on partners that were active in what we are discussing today, funded R&D projects related to bioeconomy. Here you can see a screenshot of the database that is considered an exploitable asset by the hubs. So when we scanned a little bit the funded project, we saw that the landscape for the last 10 years, this search ends in 2024, the landscape in bioeconomy related funded projects in European Union level is a little bit declining. This has to do with a general decline in the funds of the European Union, but we anticipate to see an increase in the following years. We also gained some very interesting insight about the types of organizations that tend to participate in bioeconomy projects. And this graph that you see on the bottom right of your screen has to do only with coordinated entities. So we see that there is in closed projects, mean closed until 2024, and we will discuss about this because it's the larger period of time. You see a very strong participation of private for-profit organizations, which actually means for you that the multi-actor approach that we are discussing is actually working. You need to have multiple stakeholders from different landscapes in order to make your project work. Research organizations, of course, and higher or secondary organizations take the lead in coordinating, but there is a bit of decline in private companies as coordinators, but this is something I think to be remedied in the following work programs. On the bottom right of on the top right of your screen, you can see a consolidated query as formed by the AI tools used by the WISB in order to, let's say, conduct a very comprehensive query and investigation inside the WISB concerning the particular value chains that were of interest in the BioINSouth region. So some regional insights. Those data are normalized, but they are still subject to review. As I told you, Cyprus and Slovenia are included as whole countries. So the distribution of bioeconomy stakeholders in our region is as follows. Mainly, you can see a large participation of industry in regions or countries such as Cyprus, which is something very expected because Cyprus does not have many research organizations or universities, because we are talking about the whole country. So we have a strong industrial involvement, but a strong industrial involvement also you can see in the Peloponnese region, which is actually the same as Cyprus, lower rate of universities, higher presence of companies. And as you scan all this data, maybe you can find it useful that in Asturias, for example, and Slovenia, the landscape seems to be a bit more balanced than the other countries, especially in Slovenia, meaning that Slovenia could be a very good use case on how bioeconomy is evolving through R&D funded projects from the European Union with a very, let's say, balanced proportion among private for-profit organization, research organization, the government, and the civil society. It is also astonishing for Slovenia and Cyprus and Centro, the strong participation of the civil society. And also, you see that Nouvelle-Aquitaine is not doing really good on numbers. As you may know, Nouvelle-Aquitaine is a region in France that is famous for their wines, Bordeaux, for example. So bioeconomy also may not be a high priority at this period, but also you have to take into account that with this data, we are talking only about EU-funded projects and not nationally funded projects on which France is very active. So this is a very, very rough estimation and a very simple slide that shows the momentum in our regions concerning the tendency of the European Union to providing money and for the regions to absorb in terms of bioeconomy. So as you can see, the EU contribution through a regional organization, through active projects, EU funded, for 2024 per inhabitant is 125 euros for Cyprus. That means that each stakeholder took 125 euros by economy stakeholder. Next, we can see Slovenia. This is something that is also portrayed in the previous graph as well. And you can see that we have lower performing countries such as Nouvelle-Aquitaine, as we saw, but we also see some established, and this is very important in my opinion, some established regions such as Andalusia and Centro that are doing actually really well. They have a stable environment. They're not extremely high, they're not extremely low, but they show a very stable process towards adopting bioeconomy beyond EU-funded projects. So you can see there is a momentum definitely for Southern Europe, for Peloponnese, Cyprus, Slovenia as well. Andalusia, as I told you, is a very stable environment. So participants from Spain and Asturias as well are actually very active in bioeconomy. And also there is Campania, the region chosen by the coordinator, Spring, which is a region with very strong political landscape towards bioeconomy. They have adopted and they are currently adopting new guidelines on bioeconomy. So we are trying to follow the whole political funding and general momentum on bioeconomy in order to proceed into funding as well. So a little bit about the funding opportunities, and I will talk about, not very extensively, but I will talk about calls that are relevant in regional level and in the Mediterranean level. As Lara Valentin told you before, the PRIMA calls are the Partnership for Research and Innovation in the Mediterranean area. The PRIMA calls fund research and innovation project having to do with sustainable water management, agri-food systems, or agri-food, or water energy food ecosystem in the Mediterranean bioeconomy region. The Mediterranean, as I told you before, has very specific features concerning the adaptation in climate change. One of them is the water shortage. So have in mind that many of the calls of PRIMA are very oriented towards this way. I have to tell you now that you can have the links inside the presentation. Currently, there is no work program launched for 2026-2027, and I'm not sure that through the comitology register you can access a draft, but typically PRIMA calls expected to be launched, not deadline launch, around spring of each year. So for PRIMA, the eligible countries to participate include Mediterranean countries, as well as some, let's say, more advanced countries such as Luxembourg, Germany, or even Bulgaria that doesn't have a direct exit to the Mediterranean. But please check the link in order to see the eligibility of countries. There are many countries of North Africa included, such as Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, through bilateral agreements. And you can navigate to see the previous call and get an idea inside the portal of PRIMA on where you need to be directed in order to apply for funding. Also, I need to say about PRIMA that eligible types of organization include universities, universities, SMEs, especially SMEs, but in general, companies, civil society, public bodies, RTOs, and the typical eligibility conditions of Horizon Europe as far as the type of organization is concerned apply in PRIMA as well. The Interreg framework, again mentioned by Lara earlier, it is a completely different setting because it doesn't have to do only with countries, but it has to do with regions. There are several Interreg specific frameworks, including the Interreg Euromed, the Mediterranean Translational Cooperation, the Interreg Northwest Europe, the Interreg Central Europe, and the Interreg Baltic Sea regions. So you understand, I will not get into much detail inside this, but you can enter all the links in order to navigate as well inside the Interreg platform. In the Interreg Med, for example, there are 15 countries eligible, but be careful, we are not talking about whole countries. They are regions among these countries, or whole countries in some cases, eligible. So again, you see there is a distribution for Interreg Euromed for countries in the Mediterranean basin, including countries from North Africa, and including also some countries like Jordan and Palestine under conditions, as you understand. So the Interreg Med mainly funds projects that promote blue-green growth in the Mediterranean basin. This includes, of course, circular bioeconomy and natural resources. And as far as the other programs like Northwest, Central, and Baltic, they fund more broad concepts like circular material, like also, to not forget, regional industrial transformation projects means retrofitting concepts like changing your industry into something more green, more circular, and more sustainable. So the Interreg framework is currently running for 2021 and 2027, and you can enter inside all these links and see the open calls and the cutoff deadlines. I understand that for many of you, it may be a bit difficult to navigate inside all this information because there is a tendency during the last years to, from the European Union, to have open calls in very specific domains. But in any case, if you need any help, you can, of course, turn back to ToBeReal. They have beautiful services for this, so they can help you, or even PNO or anybody. Another extra I would like to bring on the table is the widening participation and spreading excellence. The widening participation, many of you may have heard it, has to do with supporting countries and regions with lower R&I performance in order to strengthen the research and innovation system and integrate into the European research area. This widening has a different scope, a very wider scope than bioeconomy and sustainability. But inside you can find many interesting calls that you can fit inside your bioeconomy activities, your bioeconomy sustainability concepts, because the main target of this work program is to assist lower performing countries to gain traction in domains that are not so much appreciated for the moment. So the draft again is available through the comitology register. You can see the link on the top right, as in the previous slides. You can see also the current status inside the Horizon Europe portal. And here it was important because this is one of my personal favorite work programs. You can see the countries that are eligible for funding for projects under the widening participation and spreading excellence. We have Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia, Estonia, Greece, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia. And we have a lot of associated countries, as you see. And during the last month, I think it was, yes, in October, Egypt was added to these associated countries in transition. So make sure that you check eligibility conditions to be on the spot and recent. So For example, I want to say now in this widening work program that there are some very nice programs called very nice topics called twinning that promote the collaboration between advanced countries like Central European countries and lagging countries from the widening. Through know-how exchange, through seminars, through training. It's like a very good exchange program with a minimum research activity framework in order to support the gaining of experience for the widening countries from advanced countries like, for example, Germany. So here you see that the whole concept is very broad and definitely it can fit in your activities somehow because you understand that bioeconomy is something that is very important to follow up in the following years. So check the wider participation. The draft is available. You can see it and take into account that you can put all your bioeconomy ideas under this project. So last, and as I told you in the previous slide, the BioINSouth now is a project, but is soon to be an initiative that will evolve in order to build bridges both among regions and sectors and people. Our 8 bioeconomy hubs will serve in the future as model hubs in Southern Europe and in the Mediterranean region, and also trying to expand beyond our borders. For us, in BioINSouth, it's very important to connect stakeholders from the European South and the southern regions in general in order to be involved in a dialogue and some consequently in actions concerning how we envisage bioeconomy to be implemented in the next years in the South. So we have the BioINSouth stakeholder community tool where you can register now. It's a forum-like tool where you can have updates from our projects, updates from the European Commission on bioeconomy. You can, there is a registry of participants inside the community tool, so you can be connected with other stakeholders as well. So I invite you here to sign up, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks to you, Nadia, for this wonderful presentation. So let me also remind our attendants that please, we need your feedback. We would like to have it through this QR code, but maybe our colleagues from Club, you can share also the link directly on the chat. We will go now to questions and answers. We have one of the questions in our section from Lucas. I would invite you, Lucas, to put your camera on, but anyway, if you don't want to, I can ask the question directly to our speakers. Lucas Stransky asks if they have chance to find support to scale up production of mycelium growth leader from Formes Formentarius, reducing emissions by 80%, cutting costs by 30%, material input that will be fine sawdust at 80 euros mycelium with the aim of plastic production. He also studied that the location of this installation would be Czech Republic or Slovakia. So, Lucas, if you want to add something, please turn your micro on, or if not, I will ask my colleagues to answer this question. Firstly, Lara Valentin, maybe you have, I'm sure you have a lot of suggestions about how to get this kind of support. So we can go in order.
Yeah. In fact, there is a specific topic in Cluster 6 where this could be addressed. It's an innovation action, so it's a research and innovation action. So we should discuss with you where is exactly your TRL, and this is a conversation that need to be more in detail. So and there might be other opportunities which maybe are not directly specific for fungal bio-based feedstocks for production of bio-based products, but sometimes they are quite open the topic, so you can in fact put this value chain in as an idea. So what I welcome you is to in fact apply for ToBeReal service, where we can spend much more time with you to get into the details of what is really your idea and find a suitable funding call for you, as I mentioned. I don't know if my colleagues wants to add something else, or you, Lucas. I don't know if you are my colleagues from Clube. You have opened the microphone for him to say something. If maybe he's not here anymore.
Okay, I will share just to remind you the ToBeReal services portfolio. As you can see here, we have 4 verticals. So one of them, if it is related with the scale up of production of this mycelium grow leader, their support could be taken through these different services: basic bioeconomic, techno-economic assessment, emerging bioeconomy, technology intelligence, environmental impact, bio-based supply chain, biomass, feedstock analysis and forecasting. So please have a look. We can go through this information after the presentation. So we will keep in touch. If Lucas don't want to include something else, maybe also as this, I'm not sure until what extent you could be considered a primary producer, because maybe for C4B, I don't know if it could be an opportunity for this open call, but I think that for the mushrooms, you don't have any business model in place. So he could not ask for the services for the open call, if I'm not wrong, Anna.
Yeah, let me also comment a little bit, since actually we have not defined yet the exact content of the open calls, as they will be designed based on the results that the partners are right now developing. So everything is more or less ongoing and are parallel activities. Saying that, of course, with 60,000 euros for each use case project, we are not asking partners to implement a real business model, because the funding is not balanced with the activities that are expected for implementing a real business model, but rather to maybe make some additional activities that they can favor the implementation of new business models. This means that a possible activity will be designed for set up and starting collaboration with other organizations to in the future implement a real business model, to make some techno-economic assessment of the possibility of implementing new business models and so on. In those regards, maybe it might be also a nice opportunity for them as well. But for this, I think that the best would be to continue to follow our channels, project outputs, and we'll be able to release additional information in the upcoming months on the specific funding activities that will be funded by C4B.
Thank you very much, Anna, for that. So please keep fine-tuned about the involvement of these open calls. And finally, Nadia, I don't know if you could make some remarks. Lucas appointed that the location could be Czech Republic or Slovakia. So maybe other opportunities for widening countries for sure would be taken. You are muted. Sorry, Nadia.
Unfortunately, the widening concept doesn't include innovation action activities like high TRL. It's more of like opening to new technologies. But I suppose that it is worth it to have a contact with the European Innovation Council and the business accelerator services they have, the ISC BUS, in order to see if they can apply into a pre-accelerator, which unfortunately the call was closed a few weeks ago. He can wait next year in order to see if the call, not the call will be relaunched, in order to do a pre-accelerator in the widening framework.
Thank you very much, Nadia. Our colleagues from Club has just noticed that you already have access to the camera and microphone. So if other attendees could have additional comments to that, they are very welcome. Or if Lucas wants to include something else about your question, you feel free to open your micro. Okay, so I cannot hear any other question or doubt. We are happy to see that we are in time. So we have 10 minutes left. I don't know if you want to remark something more. Okay, Lara, thank you.
Yeah, given the chance that we have some time extra because there were not more questions, but you can anyways interrupt. I would like to take the advantage of give you a bit more information about how to apply to ToBeReal services and where you can find everything. Here is our website, and we have in the first banner, we have the portfolio of services. First, there are 4 verticals. One is for technical assistance, the other one is for business and financial assistance, third one is regulatory and policy assistance, and the fourth one is social innovation assistance. There is an explanation of what is this assistance about. But within each package, you have a detail of the sub-services with the indication of the coins, to be coins, for each of these services. This is a way for us as a ToBeReal consortium to balance the resources, because all the services are deployed by the members of our consortium. So I welcome you to read what is each service about. You have here all the explanations in the more details box. Then if you think this is interesting, then you go to apply now or here. But before, I suggest you to download the guidelines for applicants. It's very easy, the application. We want to make it very easy, but to have some kind of procedure. So if you go to apply now, you have first an online questionnaire with 5 steps. As we are requesting you to give us details about your project, we also prepare this offline documentation package, so you can work at home with these documents and just copy paste in these steps. So very important to say is all the information that you put here is confidential within the boundaries of the ToBeReal project. But even if you are selected after we receive the evaluation, we will sign an NDA with you so that the information you share with us is completely treated confidentially and is not going to be published anywhere. So in this questionnaire, you have also the possibility to select what kind of applications, services you want. Here you have it. But first you have to take a look, drive around our services, and then you just pick here the ones you want. There will be a warning if you are over the 60 coins. You cannot put that. You can only spend 60 coins. And then, we will receive it and we will contact you once it's evaluated. Important things, we give 1 extra point, because there is a system of points, of course. When there is 1 point extra, just directly, if you are from a widening country or a widening region, because we want to boost bioeconomy projects within the widening countries and regions. So we really welcome you to take a look. If you are overwhelmed by the process, contact us. We are, Maria and me, we are the ones receiving the emails, and we will be very happy to help you. And of course, join us our platform, community platform. There will be a lot of material that we believe will be very useful for you. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Lara. Also, as we have a representation of partners from other countries, also Susanna is here from Slovakia. Please check our partnerships so, in order to look for assistance, and they will be very happy to provide all the information that you may need. So thank you very much. We have 4 minutes left, but I think that we can finish now this webinar. I would like to thank you again for your attendance today in ToBeReal webinar, and also please remind to leave your feedback about this kind of webinars, because the objective of ToBeReal is to boost these bioeconomy projects, and we will be happy to improve our services or webinars in the future events. So thank you very much again for all our speakers, and hope to see you very, very soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you.
Everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
I'm staying in case.